everybody and welcome. I am Tom, and you watching me play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Last time we took on a contract about some murdered guards, found out it was a succubus, and subsequently let the succubus go because she was acting in self-defense, seemingly. And she was pretty upfront about it. Today, we're going to do another witch contract. It's got an elusive thief. Apparently, a supposed imp who's been stealing things. So we're going to discover what this is.
Greetings, Master.
Hear about the contract. Really got an imp problem? Or is that just an imp or affection in the notice?
You ought not jest, Master Witcher. I know the creatures are only to exist in fairy tales, yet I saw one with my own eyes as it stole from my stall.
What did it swipe from you?
Once it was bread, then a fish, then apples. Might not seem like much, but add it together and the business suffers. And I'm hardly alone in being pestered. It's nicked something from every stand in the square.
All right. So what's this imp look like?
Like a mean, fat cat, but a very large one. This tall, see? And it walked upon its hind paws. So, will you teach it a lesson with your silver sword?
He's a merchant, so I'm going to demand a lot of money.
Make it worth my while and I will. Demand for witchers is high, supplies low. I pick and choose my contracts these days.
Clever speaking there, Geralt. Talking the merchant's language. I reckon I might be able to push to 300. Nope.
A bit much, but a compromise is in sight.
I didn't get majorly annoyed by that though, so let's try to get 285.
Fine negotiation on your part, Master. So be it. We'll call it agreed.
I don't really need the money.
Relax, I'll help you. Small businesses are the foundation of a healthy economy, and so on and so on.
Thank you, Master Witcher. I don't know if this will be of use, but most recently the thief leapt over that wall and ran into a passageway. It was the last I saw of him and a few of my wares.
Let's have a look at... They indeed look like cat paws.
Merchant was right. Actually does look like a giant cat.
Indeed, Geralt. Let's follow these tracks and see where they lead. Yeah, few horses these are, but they're not mine. Up here.
Boy, what do I gotta do to get a
Looking to make some coin too.
Looks like the imp dropped some loot. Definitely came through here.
Climbed up over the wall.
Coin too, eh?
Interesting.
Drop down into the moat. Trail ends here.
Seems every time you turn around, there's more scum in Novigrad.
Hench dwarf.
Paw prints end here. Boot prints start there. Could it be the Puss in Boots?
Good old Geralt. I'm gonna head up here.
There's something in the wind.
Because I think...
Why are you leering at my
Here we
helmet,
go.
eh?
Enough. Leave him alone.
Oi, you a non-humanophile, is that it?
If there's one thing I hate, it's to repeat myself. Leave him be.
Hey lads, got one eager for a lick in here. Let's show him what happens to freak lovers in Novigrad.
Apparently freak lovers kill you. Sweet.
Thank you, Vatgern. If you hadn't intervened, they'd have snipped my ears like they did Phalar's. Or worse.
I'd leave Novigrad if I were you.
How about that? Non-humans bother you as well?
Me? No. The Eternal Fire, yes. They've got other scapegoats to burn right now, but it won't be long before they come for you.
I don't believe they will. They'd not dare go that far.
I was in Rivia in 1268, during the massacre. Know exactly what I'm talking about. Take care of yourselves now.
Meaning? What would you have me do? Never leave my home? Step off the pavement to let a human pass?
Farewell.
They're all a bit snippish. I mean, they're snippish, but they're like... It's not... What's the term? It's not undeserved snippishness. I mean, they're treated like shit, but...
Door's wide open. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Seems I found his house.
A letter? Well, well. Our Imps at least literate, if not outright educated.
Sure, what are all these? Contracts that I've got. Okay. Short letter. Jana, please, cut out this nonsense at once. This might come to you as a surprise, but a giant cat will tend to stick in people's memory. Why don't you pick some other, safer form, like I did? I've been walking through as a beggar for 3 years now, and no one's batted an eye. And such earnings! You wouldn't need to steal anymore. So how'll it be? If you decide on it, I'll put in a word with the king of beggars. Till our next writing. Louis. Or Lewis, depending on pronunciation. P.S. Burn this letter once you've read it, alright? P.P.S. Yes, I know I'm paranoid, but humor me and burn it. P.P.S. P.P.P.S. If I find this letter next time I come over, you owe me a beer. Well, clearly he didn't burn it.
Doppler. Explains a lot. And complicates matters. Need a good lead to track him down.
Dopplers would be particularly difficult to catch, I would imagine. Luckily, for a Witcher, you probably never really need to catch one. They're not often... I mean, they can be as murderous as anything else, but...
A woman's blouse, a man's shirt, a child's shoes. But only one bed. Lavender, strong scent. Enough to track him down.
There we go. I'll look at these books. The Wild Hunt. From farmers and herdsmen, milkmaids to midwives, all the common folk of the continent whisper, sharing tales of a wraithy procession pounding across the sky. The Wild Hunt, they call it. Winds and gales, storms and blizzards arise when it is sighted, and all grows cold, though the sun shone bright moments before. Some remember only the cold from the shock of the encounter, and claim the riders come always in winter, but nay, this is not so. The hunt brings its own ice. Death and war gallop in its wake, or so the superstition goes. Yet evil enough is the hunt itself. It takes folk captive, youths most often, in the prime of their wilding years? I'll Google what that means. With 10 or 20 summers behind them, I guess that's what that means. So the teenage years, essentially. The hunt rushes in and they disappear, only to return long years later with no memory of what passed in the time between. Very similar to what happened to Geralt, actually. He was taken by the Wild Hunt, and when he came out, and Yennefer in fact, they were both taken by the Wild Hunt. When they got out, they had no memory. They managed to get their memory back, but for a long time they didn't know what had happened. And I don't think Geralt still remembers anything that happened to him when he was riding with the Wild Hunt. It was not until he has his memories of everything prior and everything after, but nothing in between. What shall become of Temeria? Temeria, a land where milk and honey once flowed, in what did she wrong the gods? I'm gonna have to northern accent again. In what did she wrong the gods that they should treat her so cruelly? The Pearl of the North to some, she proved a galloping range for Nilfgaardian cavalry and others. As a country, it survived 2 previous wars against the Empire. It was here that the war's bloodiest battles were fought. It was in Temeria where the most bestial deeds were wrought. It was Temerian civilians who bore the full brunt of these wars' horrors. And bear them we did, bravely and steadfastly, until the demise of our great protector, King Foltest. Then Providence turned its fickle face from Temeria. Murdered most treacherously, Foltest failed to leave Temeria a worthy successor. And so all manner of curse soon fell upon her, tearing her apart like so much carrion. She had no more allies then. None remembered that we had once been the armor protecting the north from the designs of the mad dancer. He who had the gravestones of his foes pounded into the ballroom floor. Hence where his name comes from. Talking about the Emperor there. A free and independent Temerian is no more. A dark-faced sun looms over every rampart. Yet we Temerians live on, and always will. As long as folk believe, the usurper who took our beloved capital Vizima to treat us as property will forever peer over his shoulder in fear. For in the shadows lurks not one danger, but the power of a nation of... not one dagger, but the power of a nation of daggers, waiting to deal justice's blow. So, people in Temeria still want to take out the Empire, they're not happy about it. Which isn't surprising, they are an invading force.
Go pickle spiders up your arse!
Go pickle spiders up my ass, that's a... okay. It's an odd insult.
That's all I have. Had a loaf of bread too, but I dropped it, decided not to go back.
Will you go to the
choice.
chapel with me tonight?
If anything happened to you, we'd go hungry.
Beaver, bugger me.
Rare sight. An elf and a guard of the Eternal Fire having a friendly chat.
Friendly? Nothing further from the truth. This racist here has demanded to search me, for no reason at all.
You's a non-human, I need no other reason. Lucky I didn't find anything on you. Now piss off to the woods, go play your flute.
That was some pretty bad acting. Really ought to explore other career options. Petty theft, maybe.
You dare insult an officer on duty? Let me give you some advice, mutant.
Look who's talking. I know you're a Doppler and a kleptomaniac.
Merchants put out a contract on me.
Always the same old shit.
Poor girls.
Hey, wait!
Will you go to the chapel with me tonight? Already told you, no.
Really want to see an angry Witcher.
Do you?
Damn, I look old.
Oh shit. I'm scared of me. Normally I'm not too scared of... He's doing strong attacks. Whoa, shit. I'm tough. Although nothing... He's still a Doppler. He ain't no real Witcher. This would actually be slightly terrifying, just seeing two identical people in identical clothing hitting each other. Wow. This will be interesting. I'll cut it out to the point where I'm actually at the fight. And we're back. Right there? Cleaver's henchman just standing in the way. Woohoo! I can see why all these bad guys have a tough time killing me. I'm tough. Although he's poisoned now, which makes things easier. I don't think I actually have to kill him, which is good. Because I don't particularly want to kill him, he's just a thief. Not really worthy of a death sentence, in all honesty.
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
There we go.
Please, stop. I surrender. Might be able to look like a Witcher, but that won't make you fight like one.
You're donning your skins enough to know what kind of man you are, what you feel.
I don't kill him, true. But then not everybody applies my rules, and not everyone's got my conscience. So start stealing somewhere else. Far from Novigrad, preferably. Golden age of Dopplers ended here a while ago.
I know, but I thought they'd not catch me. I thought myself too smart. Serves me right. Might have learned this lesson the hard way. Time to go. Somewhere far away. But first, take this. As a token of my gratitude. So long, Witcher.
Go pickle spiders up your arse.
What does that even mean? Go pickle spiders up your ass. What is that? I don't understand what that means. So give me 215 crowns, that's nice. And the diagram for Novigrad, which is a sword, I'm pretty sure. So I think I'm actually going to come out on top, because if I remember correctly, this guy doesn't actually give you the full reward if you don't kill the Doppler, because he's like, you got no proof that he's gone. Which is, I mean, fair enough, I'm technically cheating him, but...
Greetings, master.
Problem solved. Convinced the imp to go back to the countryside to tangle horse manes and piss in milk, as tradition ordains.
And how would I know you speak the truth? No trophy, no reward.
There better be one, or you'll feel the invisible hand of the market smack you so hard you won't be able to sit down for a week.
I'll give you half the agreed sum, no more. And I'll not do business with you again.
I think that actually does affect prices.
Greetings, master.
I think that'll affect the prices because you've just annoyed the Merchants Guild, essentially. So you give me 142, I got 200 and something. I got more than I would have got because I had like, what, 285 was my argument?
No need to push, enough for all comers.
No one to push.
Very good. Manners before trade, always.
I won't play Gwent because again I'll do separate Gwent episodes.
Let me have a look.
One of them will be coming up shortly, I think. I think I'm going to do a bunch around Novigrad. What do we got here? More room, that's what I got from the succubus. I don't need any of these. How much you got? 19. How much sell for? 137. 100. No, not quite. I'll buy it anyway though. And nothing to sell here. Alright.
Bye.
Okay. So we're about halfway through.
You into the city.
I'm going to do a cut here while I figure out what I want to do next. I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so I think I'm going to do... I'm back, by the way. I'm going to do one more Witcher contract. First things first, though, I'm going to run down here, because I believe... I've got a stash down here, which will allow me to dump some stuff that I don't need to be carrying around with me. As well as look in my stash and see if there's anything that got carried over. A lot of the stuff got carried over. Because I like having unique gear. So you can see all the stuff I've brought over. Let's deposit all these. And these. Okay. I'm going to deposit this Temerian armor too. This set here I have, by the way. I haven't showed this off, but I have got vitality regen on this. And it's just some nice looking clothes if I ever need them. Which potentially happens occasionally throughout the game that you need some cool looking clothes. In any case, so now I've dumped that off. I'm a bit lower on weight, which is cool.
What say you, Will?
And now I'm going to head out. I'm actually going to head out this way. I'm going that way eventually, but... I'm going to have a look out here. So I like exploring the world. It's cool. If I run out this way, I might get a few more markers as well. It's worth noting. quick slots. Quick slots. Quick save. Quick travel points, rather. Tried a few quick words there before I got to the one I wanted. So we're going to head up this way and we're going to do the contract, the White Lady, which is the notice we got on the board that talked about, there was a widow writing about how they seem to have a wraith in the middle of their field and no one can go work their fields because deadly wraith. And she wants someone to get rid of it. So we're going to go help her and kill this wraith. Permanently.
Are you daft?
That's the hope anyway.
They hate you too, fat girl.
Greetings, Witcher.
Hear about the White Lady.
As I hoped. I notice it's been hanging so long, Sun's near bleached it blank.
Managed to decipher it somehow, but I need more information.
Ask away. Afraid to go out in the fields anyway for fear of ending up like Mikko and his band.
Mikko and his band. Who are they?
4 lads, drunkards and good-for-nothings all. They'd drained a few pints and decided they'd all plough the White Lady. Maybe then she'd bugger off.
Romantics.
Seems the White Lady spurned their advances. They still lie in the field. Folk are afeard to bury 'em.
So the White Lady haunts your fields?
True. Just past the hut near the old tower. Folk say she's made her home there. So, will you save us from her?
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Using more effective means than brave Mikko.
Once again, I'm not gonna haggle. Like, look at this village they're living. They're living on the outskirts of Novigrad. They're farmers. They're poor. They can't afford to give me much. So haggling, you're gonna get yourself what? A few extra coppers? What's the point?
Excuse me.
Huh. Like, haggling for like a couple extra dollars really has very little point to it. Beautiful sounds in this game. This will be Mikko and his band,
Whatever
presumably.
he saw just before he died gave him quite a scare. Hard-headed men. Bodies dried to a crisp. Signs of burns. Noonwraith did this. Pale skin, but no blood loss. This is no vampire. Expected to see 4 bodies. Deep, uneven tracks. Someone fled blindly, in a panic.
As you would. People have told you it's a white lady, come out here and it's a wraith. Not quite the same as a lady.
Ought to explore the tower. Blood trail leads to the cellar.
Which is odd. I don't actually remember this, but Noonwraith wouldn't take someone to a cellar. Dead dog.
Ghouls dragged the body downstairs, but it wasn't their kill.
Okay.
Skin's unnaturally pale. Cracked. All signs point to a Noonwraith. She's avoiding me. Gotta find something that belonged to her. She'll have to show then.
Interesting that she is avoiding him. It implies that there's like a... what's the term? An intelligence there, I suppose? She recognizes Geralt as someone who can do her harm. Climb up this tower? Maybe. There must be a way in, right?
Ah.
These bandits? I think these are bandits. They show up red on my thing.
You'll regret your mum ever squirting you in a ditch.
Easy enough. Just bandits riding around randomly, it's kind of strange. Don't often see that. See, it says there's an enemy down here. And the way he said... Yeah, okay. That sounds like ghouls. I think they were supposed to be down there originally. Simple enough. So clearly there was supposed to be a ghoul down there that I was supposed to kill, then investigate him. It was a weird kind of monster loading glitch, which does happen sometimes. I think it's happened a couple of times just in my plate. There's another...
Get him! Come on! As a bunch, lads!
These guys are actually kind of low level considering... Oh, considering that this is like a fairly high level quest. Also, need to repair my sword. 100, you're 93, I'll give you a small one. Just so they're both at 100. Interesting. Let's go up first. Because it's always in the basement is where you got to find things, right? Yep. Well, I can go up further. Interesting. There's blood on the wall. I can't remember this quest at all. I'm sure I've done it though. I can go up even further. There's a dead person here. Interesting. What's the purpose of this tower, anyway? I wonder. What I'm searching all these things for is I'm trying to see if I can find a note that explains things. That presumably is her body? Maybe? Could be someone else, but you'd think that there's a Noon Wraith, the body you find... Nope, get down please. The body you find would be presumably hers. There's more blood here. Lots of blood on the wall and on the floor there, which is strange. Oh, there's another body here. I didn't see this on the way up. So there are multiple dead people here, not just one. In fact, there's three. There's two there. Then one up on the balcony. Once more blood here. So that's what I need to find, obviously. Okay. No, legendary female sword. Prince Adrian's journal. I'm not going to do the scavenger hunt now. There we go. Kyan? I think it's Kyan. Kyan performed wonderfully. It's a shame, of course, that Professor Gloger disappeared somewhere in the ruins of Estea, along with the rest of the elven diagrams, but those sketches for a steel sword alone are worth as much as a village in South Redania. Elven diagrams. I think a lot of the cat school were actually elven witches. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I vaguely remember reading that at some point. In any case. Hence, this is a cat school diagram, elven diagram. We split the takings equally, as per our agreement. I kept the diagram for the silver sword, while Kyan took the crossbow diagram. I must admit, I didn't exactly need every member of the expedition's head preserved in vinegar, but they do constitute impressed proof of Cayenne's conscientiousness and professionalism. Interesting. So clearly they've stolen these sketches, right? We split the takings equally, as per our agreement. I kept the diagram for the silver sword, while Cayenne took the crossbow diagram. I must admit, I didn't exactly need every member of the expedition's head preserved in vinegar, but they do constitute impressive proof of Cayenne's conscientiousness and professionalism. So clearly they killed the expedition, and he took them as proof, because he's a Witcher, maybe? Yeah, here we go. The Witcher swore none of the archaeologists would leave Est Taillere alive, and none did. Okay. It's also worth noting that the Cat School, a lot of them turned to be mercenary assassins, essentially, just taking money for killing. All the more shame, then, that Cayenne didn't accept my offer, as my personal bodyguard. He would never have wanted for a thing. Steady pay, caviar and strawberries for breakfast, lobster for lunch, daily baths, a court surgeon and courtesans of both sexes for all his needs. And if he still lacked for anything, he had but to knock on my chamber door. He must very much love all that trudging around the world, because I do not believe Jacob of Dembich could have dangled a better offer than I did. Really now, Jacob of Dembich, a second-rate captain transporting whores to dockside Novigrad pimps for a fistful of crowns. With any luck, sooner or later a storm will sink that leaky tub of his and Cayenne will return to me, tail between his legs. So he's obviously got offered more money by someone else. Sounds like a criminal, judging by this. Illegible scribbling, scrubbed, illegible waxing, illegible. Blade oil, devil's puffball, contortions. Interesting. Ink visibly fresher than previous entries. Many years must have passed. I've heard the Flying Deer, the vessel on which Cayenne was sailing, wrecked off the coast of Grassy Knoll. Was it my curse? No. Not bad for a beginner. Perhaps I should think about enrolling at Bernard. Interesting. So angry that Cayenne didn't continue working for him, he cursed them. Or whether he cursed Cayenne, or whether he cursed Jacob of Dembich. Hard to say. Interesting, nonetheless. It's not what I'm looking for, though. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to the widow about the Noonwraith. Interesting. What happened there? Did I get on the back of the ladder? That was strange. Okay. So I'll go back to the widow and have a chat. No. Nearly went all the way to the top again. That would have been a shame. Oh, hey, cool. Convenient horse is convenient. We head back to this widow and ask about what happened near that tower. Presumably she knows a story about the people there. That's why they're pointing me back to her. Good horse.
Greetings, Witcher.
Seems your white lady's a Noonwraith.
That means... Gods, poor Lucy.
Lucy. She was gonna marry, right?
Yeah. Her parents swore her to a smith from the city. Well-to-do, sure, but older and more brittle than elven ruins. Lucy ran from the altar out into the fields, where she slashed her veins. Used the silver dagger she'd gotten for the betrothal. Wait. Let me show you.
Suicide. To escape her arranged marriage.
Lucy's parents couldn't bear to sell it. Bury it, even. They left it in my care.
I want to send her away, but I've got to bring her close, lure her first. I need an object that belonged to her. Dagger would be perfect.
Take it, but kill Lucy. Promise me. She shouldn't suffer no more.
For us Enche.
Ow!
Waste of words.
Sad.
Gloomy a room seller you are.
I wonder if that tower actually has anything to do with Lucy at all, or whether or not she just happened to kill herself close to it. It's interesting one way or the other, but we'll still see, I guess. And this should be a good fight, hopefully.
Let's dance.
Moondust will be helpful here. That's alright, I'm doing significant damage. This is a fairly high level mission, it's like level 72 I think. It's like 12 levels higher than me, which is fairly significant. Having Moondust makes it a lot easier though, because I don't have to keep her inside a Erden trap. A Moondust bomb, by the way, is just, it's a bomb full of silver splinters. Which makes her not be able to stay in material. That was a lot of damage. She didn't manage to kill too much there off me, which is good. Whirl works incredibly well on Noon Wraiths, or Wraiths in general I should say, because it essentially stun locks them. Which, as you can see, works incredibly well. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Once again, she siphoned very little health off me. I think the health siphon is actually, on New Game Plus, is kind of trivial, because I think it's value-based rather than percentage-based off the amount of health they steal off you. Which means that sad. Because it's based off a value number rather than based off percentages. Deathwin, cool. You notice there's no animation when you kill a Wraith because I think their trophy is just like a bag of Wraith dust, I think. I don't think it's actually... They don't really leave much behind. Whoops. But the health they steal to regenerate when they do their splitting attack, it's based on a certain value, I think. Like, it's a damage value per second rather than percentage per second. So when you've got, like, I don't know, 100,000 health, or whatever. How much health do I have? I've got 6,000 health. She had, like, 100,000. So actually draining the amount of health is kind of nothing.
Greetings, Witcher.
Problem solved. You can go back to your fields.
Thank you. Your coin. And may fortune smile upon you.
And with that, I think we're going to leave it there, and I shall see you next time. Thank you. Level up even better. Actually, before I go, I'll have a look at what I can level up for. I'm going to wait a second too, because I want to see how much gold they gave me, because I'm just interested. 280, so a fair amount. Like a significant amount. They did, like, sort of pull together to actually pay me, so it's not that surprising, I suppose. But let's look at my character sheet. I've got 11 points. I don't think I have enough mutagens, though. Because apparently, mutagens don't carry over into the new game, which is strange to me. I thought they would have, but apparently they don't. Which means what I'm going to do... 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I think what I want is actually more of these. Potentially more of these, but... I mean, what would I have to get up to here? Because I want Igni-sign intensity is the one that I want. If any. I think I'm going to focus on here more intently. Because I want this one eventually. So I probably want 2 more in this, so let's see which ones I want. Yeah, I'll cut this out, I'll make my decision, and then I'll come back. See you in a second. And we're back. So what I've done, I've spent all of my points. I've set this up so that when I unlock all of these slots, I'm going to put this one in here. This will turn into, in fact, I'm going to do that right now, is turn this into a green mutagen slot. So these 3 are going to be green. I'm going to add synergy in here as well. So I'm going to have 2 full green things. I'm going to have 3, 4, 5, 7 red slots. 2 of these, and I'm going to have cat skull techniques down here. Also, I took everything off and put it back on, because I had a feeling some of these things weren't working. Like my puppet didn't seem to be going off. I'm not sure whether that's... could have been based on my sign intensity. I'm just not good enough to use it, but I'm not sure. In any case, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.
Or is that just an imp? Her affection in the notice?